Motorsport Radio.
Well, you may be able to hear some wildlife in the background, and that's because we're going to start the show tonight with a special guest. He is live, I guess, from his home or a zoo somewhere in Spain. It's Kyle Smith. Hello, welcome back to the show, Kyle.
How are you doing? Good to be back.
Yeah, no,
you're right. You're definitely right about that zoo. I've got dogs going mad, I've got chickens running about. It's all kicking off.
Okay, yeah, well, yeah, fair enough. That's okay. So, if you want to get any questions to Kyle, then, as I say, pop them in the comments box below. I'll be trying my best to check them while he is on the show. So, first of all, Kyle, how are you? How are you doing?
Very good, thanks. Yeah, it's good to be back on the show. Seemed a long time since last year. But,
a lot's happened.
Yeah, tons, all sorts of stuff's happening. And it's good to be back in World Supersport, and but yeah, feeling fit, having fun riding, so all good.
Yeah, excellent. So I suppose we'll start off by sort of asking you how your season's going so far. Really, how things are developing for you. I know it's early on yet in the season, but how are things?
Yeah, well, started off steady away. Like I expected myself to be a bit stronger in the season, but pre-season testing were a complete fail. It just rained, and we got very little dry track time. And the first race, we had a problem with a lander sensor. So the mapping were all off, the fueling. And the bike was just slow. And I just pushed and ended up finishing, I think, 20th. Just a really poor weekend. Just couldn't find the setup. And then problems, obviously, with the bike running slow. And then second race in Assen, made a big step forward. Played around with setup a little bit, started feeling comfortable on the bike. And I managed to get 8th in the second race in Assen, which I'm pretty happy with. More than happy with the position, which I wasn't that happy with, to be honest. The pace I had mid-race was strong. And I felt like I was competitive again, because started the season off and I just didn't feel competitive. So hopefully I can't wait to get back to the track in Estoril, because we had a 3-way break, and see what we can do.
Okay. I know the guys here have some questions for you as well, including Luke and Jack as well. And as I say, we'll come back at the end and ask any questions that flood in, no doubt, Kyle. So, Luke, take it away.
So we were saying about being competitive in World Supersport. Obviously, in the past, you've been very, very competitive in World Supersport. You've raced against likes of Jules Clazel, Krimonaka, Cortese, and obviously Sofoglu, and you've battled with them and beaten them. How does it feel to say you've beaten that amazing caliber of riders and your name in there?
Yeah, it's the only thing what keeps my hopes up in especially the beginning of the season in Aragon. I just struggle, like I say, with setup, and lap times won't come in. Even though I'll push in, just lap times won't come in. And sometimes you get down, you don't know if it's yourself, if you're just not on it or whatever. But then when you think back and think, these riders, I've beaten them all before, and I feel stronger than ever. I feel fit, I feel motivated. So it's just a case, that keep working on the bike and finding it, and it'll get there. And the fact that I've had the good results in the past, it makes me believe in myself.
What did it feel like in 2015 and 2016 to see yourself 5th in a world championship?
Disappointing. I wanted to be first. Yeah. No, I've had a few good seasons in World Supersport, and a bunch of good races. I think, to be honest, as championships go, I've had maybe better races than championships. I've had a few crashes along the way, but yeah, it's like you say, it's good to be able to race with the best and be able to be up there with them battling.
because not only have you been successful in World Supersport, but also the Suzuka 8 Hour in 2015. What was it like to race in such a demanding race like that?
Yeah, well, to be completely honest, I was a reserve rider, so I didn't actually ride. I did all the testing and the qualifying and stuff, but the race, I didn't actually ride in the race. So I don't tell that to everybody. No, the experience to be able to go there to ride with the factory team, with the Japanese team, were absolutely incredible. But obviously, I'd like to be able to ride the bike in the race, because throughout the practicing and qualifying and stuff, the same. The lap times are good and what have you. But in the 8 hour, a lot of the Japanese teams only like to run 2 riders, not 3 riders, not like the 24 hours and what have you. So yeah. That was that, but the experience of going to Japan and being involved in the Suzuka 8 Hour, really cool. Yeah, something to remember. And as well, my wife gave birth to the first child, to my daughter, when I was in Suzuka as well. So it would definitely it's a weekend to remember.
Mm.
Yeah.
We're speaking a little bit about this before the show, but what was the Triumph like to ride in British Supersport last year?
Good, the British Championship, obviously new for me. All the tracks new, except from Donington. But the bike, being new, a lot of work to be done on setup and just finding the balances. Like you rock up at a racetrack, you've got to learn the racetrack. You don't even know what gearing to put in the bike. A lot of the teams what have been on the Yamahas and the Kawasaki's, they know what gearing to put on there. We had a lot of work to do. But saying that, it went pretty well, to be honest. Although I broke my collarbone at the beginning of the season, testing Knockhill, which that threw a bunch of stuff across. But just to be able to race in Britain were... real cool experience, because even though I'm English, I moved to Spain when I was 6. When I was 6, I'm 6 or 7, and never really been back to England. So when I ever go back to England, I feel like a fish out of water. And to race the British Championship, it was good, bringing me back to my roots.
What has been your favourite bike to race for your career?
Favourite bike to race? You know what? In the Spanish Championship, I spent a couple of years on the ZX10. I spent 3 years on Kawasaki and the ZX10. But the first year was the old Model 1, and then they brought the newer model out, and spent 2 years. And the second year, the bike just felt fantastic, and it's the best I've ever felt on a bike before then moving on to like world stuff. And then it seems like every single year I've spent 1 year on a different bike, and it seems like at the end of the year I'm starting to feel comfortable on the bike. I found the setup. I'm always a rider what struggles with the bike setup a little bit. I have a peculiar riding style. I ride a lot off of feel, and technicians always don't seem to understand me fully. But it seems like getting to the end of the season is when I'm starting feeling really comfortable on the bike. But then the season after, it's a different team, different bike, start all over again. But when I spent, like I said, the Spanish Championship, the second year on the same bike, same team, I started feeling really, really comfortable and competitive.
My final question I have for you, Carl, is what are your expectations for the rest of the season looking ahead?
Expectations on the bike I'm on was to win. Say win, obviously winnings, especially the way things are going in the World Championship, the level is definitely, stood up. But like you mentioned before, I've beaten a lot of the riders before. There's no reason why I can't beat them again. So yeah, just plug away and hopefully be getting on that podium. Yeah.
Thank you, Callum.
Good stuff. And Jack, I'm sure you've got a couple of questions for Kyle as well.
Yeah, what's it been like racing against the new MV and Ducati bikes in Supersport?
Yeah, good. Like I said, last year they already did some of the testing with us on the Triumph in the British Championship of how they balance the bikes out. And Scott Smart is smart. He definitely knows how to do it. It makes some things difficult to ride the bike, but the balancing of the bike's pretty even. You've got to say, because if it wasn't with the balancing, obviously the Ducati and the Triumph would be just faster. But yeah, the on track, there's somewheres where some bikes are a bit stronger, some places where they're a bit weaker. But all in all, electronically now, all the teams are so advanced, and Scott spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to balance them, and they're pretty even, to be honest. So it's good.
What's it like going from the treaded tyres to the full slick?
Right, well, that's another thing I've had a problem with at the beginning of the season, that Pirelli's front tyre this year is new. And even though I've rode slicks in the past before, and in the Spanish Championship I rode Pirellis on slicks, then treaded in British Championship. But the front slick is different to the front slick I'm used to. They've just changed the carcass, changed the construction of the tyre a little bit. And it definitely took me 2 races to get used to as well. So, I don't know, apart from that, I think I'll get there. But definitely tyres make a huge difference.
Yeah, that's all I have for you.
Yeah.
All right, Kyle. There was just a couple of sort of non-racing questions, really, that I had for you. Obviously, you said you've been over there most of your life since you were a kid. One thing that if people tuned in listening will notice straight away is your accent. Who've probably never heard you before, and you don't seem to have lost that accent, this just seems a bit weird, because when you tell people that you've been living in Spain most of your life, but it sounds more like you've been living like in Leeds or Huddersfield or something like that. So it's just a bit weird.
It's just too good to lose. Is that good Yorkshire accent?
I suppose you do speak fluent Spanish, I'm presuming, but do you do it with a Yorkshire accent though?
No, I speak Valenciano as well, which is the dialect where we live. So I've grown up speaking Valenciano more than Spanish. So I've got a full mix of dialects going on.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And can the Spanish actually understand you though?
I think so.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm getting by, to be honest. So.
Well, yeah. That's because I was the only reason I was watching an old episode of Benidorm the other day, and just reminded me of. Anyway, but fantastic to have you back on the Superbike Show on Motorsport Radio. Thank you for coming on. What are you doing next year? Same thing?
Next year, I've got no idea. Like I say,
just year by year, is it?
This motorsport racing, it's not a stable lifestyle. It's literally, I think back in the 90s, you got a few year contracts and what have you, but and maybe MotoGP. But here, it's just keeping your head above water, and I don't know. We'll see what the results.
Because some people have a bit of a plan and stuff like that. In a couple of years, they want to be here or there or aiming towards something, I suppose. But
yeah, like I aim to, obviously, if I'd say, right, what my aiming is to win World Supersport and move to Superbike. Is that going to happen? Very unlikely. I'm going to try my best, but, you've got to be realistic and very likely. And especially like now, there's lots of people bringing budget or what have you. And it's just making it, hard. But I'm getting by and having fun. So we'll just see. We'll just see if we can get the results this year and see what that brings. Good
stuff. Well, I think you wanted to, I don't know, with your family, something like that. But certainly your dogs, anyway.
The dogs are absolutely. I've got chickens here, and they've just. I've got chicks. Kids have just got in from. I don't know where, swimming or something, and it's a madhouse. So I've come home to be like a bit quieter, and it's not worked for me. We've got neighbours, we've got dogs, we've got 4 dogs going mad. It's like you say, it's like a zoo up here.
Well, yeah, Ali, I mean, it sounds like you're enjoying life anyway, and that's no bad thing, is it? So,
no, it's still good to not enjoy. Yeah.
Exactly. So, Kyle, thank you for coming on once again on the Superbike Show. And
kids are popping in, look.
What you doing? Who you talking to?
And these are definitely going to be next motorsport stars. They've got little Yamaha Pee-wees. And they're ripping around.
Might we ever see them on something like Fab Racing, doing some mini bikes, some mini motos and stuff like that?
Maybe, I don't know. They at the moment they're just riding little Yamaha Pee-wees on motocross tracks, and they've mentioned the tarmac side of things. So
you're thinking, oh my god, how much is this going to cost?
Exactly. Yeah, I've got a little mini moto from what I used to ride, so I'm going to have to get it up and running.
Well, keep us up to date with your career and the families as well, best of luck for the rest of the season, Kyle. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
All right, take care. Thank you.